60 million people visited this national park last year. Not Yellowstone, not the Grand Canyon, Great Smoky Mountains. And here's the part that'll surprise you. It's completely free to get in. Great Smoky Mountains. National Park straddles the Tennessee and North Carolina border across more than 500,000 acres of ancient Appalachian wilderness. 800 miles of trails. 71 miles of the Appalachian Trail. Nearly 2,000 black bears. $0 at the gate. Today, I'm going deep inside the park. The best trails by difficulty, where to actually see wildlife, how the backcountry permit system works, and how to experience all of it from free to full luxury. A $5 daily parking tag is required at busy trailheads from March through November. That's your only cost. And what it gets you is remarkable. Laurel Falls is where I'd send anyone who's never hiked a day in their life. 4 miles round trip on a fully paved path through a hardwood canopy, ending at an 80-foot waterfall that spills in 2 tiers down a moss-covered rock face. Accessible, beautiful, and you don't need anything beyond a good pair of shoes. Cades Cove is an 11-mile one-way loop road through an open valley the park intentionally kept cleared, because that's where the wildlife comes out. Early morning and just before dark, you will see black bears in this meadow, white-tailed deer, wild turkeys walking through old barn lots. The mountains frame every edge of that valley, and this is one of the finest free wildlife drives in the eastern United States. Go slow. Go early. Clingmans Dome, now officially called Kuwohi, the Cherokee name meaning mulberry place, is the highest point in the park at 6,643 feet. A steep half-mile paved path leads to the observation tower. When the valley below fills with clouds and the ridgelines stretch toward the horizon, you understand why people keep coming back. If you're new here, hit that like and subscribe button. I'm working through all 50 states from completely free to absolute luxury, and you'll want to be along for the ride. Over at the earnesttraveler.com, I've got a free ultimate adventure planner, budget calculators, packing checklists, the whole thing. Links in the description. The complete travel guide for this video is down there too, with everything we cover in one spot. Stick around to the end. I'll tell you my single favorite pick from this whole video, the one I'd put at the top of my list if it were my trip. You thought the free tier was good? The budget experience here gives you something most national parks simply can't. A chance to sleep inside one of the most iconic wilderness areas in North America for very little money. The park runs 10 developed campgrounds. Elkmont, Cades Cove, and Smokemont are the most popular, tucked into the trees, surrounded by trail access and the sound of a mountain creek at night. Established sites with flush toilets and fire rings. Check recreation.gov for current rates and availability, and do it early. Summer weekends fill months in advance. For those who want to go further in, the backcountry is one of the great bargains in the national park system. Great Smoky Mountains has 15 backcountry shelters and 104 designated campsites accessible only by trail. The permit costs $4 per person per night with a $20 minimum. You reserve up to 30 days in advance at smokiespermits.nps.gov. And I'll tell you right now, popular summer and fall dates go the moment that window opens. Set a calendar reminder and be ready. One underrated move. Base yourself in Bryson City, about 45 minutes from the Cherokee entrance on the North Carolina side. A quiet mountain town with solid budget lodging, it puts you close to Deep Creek, a less crowded area of the park with 3 waterfalls from a single trailhead, including Juniewank Falls and Tom Branch Falls, both under a mile each way. Cherokee, right at the North Carolina entrance, offers solid lodging in the $80 to $150 per night range. Quieter than Gatlinburg, and 10 minutes from the Oconaluftee Visitor Center and the Mountain Farm Museum. A free collection of original Appalachian log structures worth an hour of your time. The budget tier here rewards people willing to plan ahead. You thought that was good? Step into the mid-range, and the Smokies open up in ways most visitors never reach. A guided hike changes everything. When you're walking with someone who knows the backcountry, knows where the wildlife concentrates, knows when to stop and go still, knows the secondary trails that don't show up on the maps, you see a completely different park. Wildland Trekking runs guided day hikes and backpacking trips in Great Smoky Mountains, from waterfall walks to multi-day backcountry expeditions. Rates vary by trip and group size. Check the link in the description. Mid-range cabin rentals in the Gatlinburg and Sevierville area in the $150 to $300 per night range give you a fireplace, a hot tub on a private deck, and mountain ridge views that stretch well past dark. If you're traveling with a partner or a group, this is almost always the better value over a hotel room. You're in the mountains instead of a parking lot, and you feel every bit of the difference. The Roaring Fork Motor Nature Trail is a 5-mile auto loop directly from Gatlinburg, a narrow road through dense old-growth forest alongside a mountain stream. Rainbow Falls branches off it, a 180-foot single-drop waterfall at the end of a challenging 5.5-mile round trip. A full half-day that most people on the main corridors never find. For dinner, the Peddler Steakhouse in Gatlinburg has been part of this mountain experience since 1976. Sits directly above a rushing stream, log and timber interior, hand-cut steaks, a legendary salad bar. Visit peddlergatlinburg.com for reservations. Pair a guided hike, a Roaring Fork afternoon, and a peddler dinner with a cabin waiting at the end of the day. That's the mid-range sweet spot in this park. Here's where Great Smoky Mountains becomes a bucket list experience that most people don't even know is possible. LeConte Lodge sits at 6,360 feet on the summit of Mount LeConte, the only overnight lodge in the park, reachable only by hiking 5 miles each way. No roads, no electricity, no running water. Kerosene lanterns at dinner, views above the cloud line in every direction, absolute quiet at night. It's been operating for over 100 years and nothing in the Smokies compares. The 2026 season is fully booked. Get on the waitlist at LeConteLodge.com and plan for 2027. For the luxury experience this year, the Gatlinburg and Sevierville area has private cabin estates from $500 to well over $1,000 per night. Multi-bedroom mountain retreats with indoor pools, theater rooms, and ridge views across multiple ranges. Travel with family or a group, and the per-person math gets surprisingly reasonable. Private guided backcountry trips round out the top end. Custom multi-day routes with permits handled, led by specialists who know corners of this park most visitors never reach. Link in the description. Here's the full picture. A $5 parking tag gets you Laurel Falls and Cades Cove. A backcountry permit gets you the wilderness. A mid-range cabin and guided hike gives you the full mountain experience. And LeConte Lodge, when you can get in, gives you something you'll be talking about for the rest of your life. And that pic I promised you. Cataloochee Valley at dawn. Drive the gravel road in before sunrise, find a spot at the edge of the open field, and wait. The elk come out of the tree line into the morning mist, antlers catching the early light, the valley completely still. Most visitors to Great Smoky Mountains have never heard of this place. That's the one I'd put at the top of my list. Backcountry tent or mountain cabin? Which one sounds like your trip? Drop it in the comments. Next up, we're heading into Georgia. I'm starting with a canyon that makes people stop and ask if they're still in the South. That's Friday.